It amazes me how, as human beings, we frequently claim to love. But if this were the case, would the world be in the state that it is now if love truly was the dominant feeling amongst the beings on the planet? You have to think about it. For the most part, everybody is the same. If you were to ask everybody on the entire world, I feel like everybody would have something that they would claim to love. Something or someone, something, anything. Whether it's the way their bed feels in the morning, a cup of coffee, their loving wife or husband, a job. Like, even when you ask those who you would consider evil, and they might give you a sadistic or evil answer. Oh, I quote unquote love hurting others. Stuff like that. But it's almost as if no one actually knows what love is. For one, we know it can't be conditional. Otherwise, it doesn't actually exist. We know that, real things are eternal, right? They are here now and forever. So if your love for something or someone is here now and then gone tomorrow, how could you have ever said it was real? And again, I'm not talking about emotional, romantic, like all the little type of loves human beings try to split it into. Oh, there's this type of love and that type of love. I'm talking about the raw acceptance, the raw allowance of something, the raw beholding of it, the raw, of course I can't really put it into words. If you know what I'm trying to say. But what I'm really pointing out is, how can it have been real if it was conditional? And of course, I'm not saying love means, oh, I just let people walk all over me because I still love you. No, obviously not. I'm not saying you just take crap from anybody just because you claim to be a loving being and you're not going to get angry or you're not going to do this, that, or the third. And I feel like for most people, it's their pet. For pets, for a lot of human beings, like they genuinely, you've met someone, I feel like we all have, who genuinely loves their pet. And you can tell, like, they would do anything for it. And even when it does something bad, and you might yell at it, they'd be like, don't yell at my dog. That type of vibe. So why is it so hard to just do that everywhere? With everything? And that leads me to the realization that most people don't want to. And of course, fear. But again, who's the master? If your excuse is fear, you're just a slave. And you can't argue with that because fear tells you what to do. If fear tells you don't do it, you're not going to. Or if fear tells you to do it, you're going to do it. And right now, your mind's probably racing with all the statistics and reasons why you can't love everybody. But what does it know? Like, honestly. If your mind really knew everything, your life would literally be perfect. I'm talking about you consciously right now would have placed every single atom in your world exactly as you wanted it at this exact moment, wouldn't you? If you had the power, since you know everything. But instead, we come up with all these reasons why we should be separate. Skin color, hair color, those tennis shoes don't meet a certain price point. So from what I'm seeing, is actually nobody actually wants to be in love. And again, I'm not talking about just ooey gooey romantic love. I'm talking about raw acceptance for life. Just raw life, raw. And again, I'm not saying that you just let, like I mentioned earlier, the people that just want to run around and harm others. I don't mean we just let them run around and harm others. But to those who genuinely love that which is good, you could say, seem to be in the minority by a mile, by a long shot. But then, again, everybody would claim that they want a world of love or a world of peace. But then in their own little world, they don't love and there's no peace. So I don't see how anyone could claim I want to live in a world, like a worldwide world or a universe of love and peace. And then in your own little personal world, you still are operating and have hatreds, dislikes, like visceral, to the point of, again, pushing away, judging, like energetically, pushing away, judging, murderous intentions, attacking others. But then in the same breath, you say, oh, well, that's because that, and again, there's always a reason. It's not funny. There's always a reason. But again, most people would say that they're a loving person or a loving being because they love something. But that love more than likely isn't even real. Because even though we're complex beings and can be multidimensional, you have to think about something being whole. And how, you know how human beings say there's a thin line between love and hate? But to the real love, it's like the biggest gap ever. They literally are opposites. Hate is literally flipped upside down. Like hate is that essence flipped upside down, distorted. So technically, yes, a thin line if you look at it from that, but in actual expression, they are nothing alike. So, and again, I already know that there's probably thoughts coming up of reasons why this person or that event or this thing should be hated or destroyed. And again, I'm not saying to let evil run rampant. I'm specifically looking at the concept or idea that in order to love, you need to love always. And again, not to distort it, that doesn't mean you gotta do something or let people treat you a certain way because, again, you're a loving being. No, it's because you're supposed to love yourself first and foremost. And that's how you stay away from draining yourself, hurting yourself. Because again, you don't think about hurting something that you love. You just don't. To the people that genuinely love their animals to death, they would never have a thought of hurting them, like ever, for any real reason. You know, there's people out there who, you know, crying with the dog at the vet because they don't want to see the dog get poked with a needle. You know, I'm touching upon that But you know, the love of life is so much greater than even that. And we usually just take it for granted. Whether you believe, well, never mind. I'll save that for later. But it's just interesting to me how we claim to be a society or a world based on wanting to be in togetherness or working together. And you can't even get along because y'all wear different clothes, or you just have different skin color, or you see the world differently. Like, really? That's literally all it takes for wars. Like, literally people killing each other over the most minute, insignificant differences that shouldn't block the expression of love in any way, shape, or form. And so you see that it's not even really an individual problem, because why are so many beings doing it? You see, it's just really a rampant disease in the collective. You know, that's why you can have someone say, I love hurting others. Where did that come from? Why do you love hurting yourself? You know? But then again, if I were to ask you, are you a loving person? You would think about something you love and you would swear up and down you are. And then I say, I don't think so. And now you want to kill me. Oh, yeah, there it is. But it's just interesting to me. Love, which is just always, it's just like your life. It's just always like that raw essence that you are, the raw awareness, whatever, awareness, consciousness. You know, everybody has a different word for just you. Look how like you, without any thoughts or anything, just naturally just accept you. Like you just are. There's no resistance to being you. And you just sat down in a corner and just shut up. You just are. There's no resistance to being you. So imagine if you just encountered life like that. Like there's no resistance to being alive. Or when someone comes into your world, instead of looking for all the reasons why you need to be on defense or hate them, you just were. And again, you still use your discernment. You still protect yourself. You still, again, that's part of the loving yourself first part. You don't just put yourself in situations that you know aren't good for you. But you're also aware that as an actual loving being, you aren't really going to be in them situations, are you? And if you are, well, what would love do?